Let the games begin.
In 3, 2...
Welcome to the Portal 2 cast, the only show dedicated to making you better at building puzzles. Today is Monday Madness, where we submit a challenge to the community and the community rises to that challenge. This week's challenge was turrets. The rules for this week's challenge were: your puzzle must contain at least 3 turrets. All 3 must be guarding something you need to solve the puzzle. All 3 must be defeated by different methods. Absolutely no insta-gib allowed. I should preface this episode by saying this week's entries were very difficult to judge. Most of the entries were exceptional. If one is your favorite, you should let the author know. That's what this is about. First off, we have an honorable mention. Carl Kenner's Doom E1M2 Monday Madness, which is a Doom clone envisioned in Portal 2's experience. While not a traditional Portal 2 puzzle, this level has everything you would expect in a Portal first-person shooter hybrid, including zombie death turrets, automatic save points, puzzles, key cards, doors, scripted events, and lots of death.
No! It came in under the door! It's leaching off all my skin!
For our third place spot in this week's Monday Madness Challenge, we have Champions Towers by Geniosis. First, let me tell you some of the great things about this map. Geniosis has gone to a lot of trouble to make this very pretty, very symmetrical in a lot of places, and to incorporate lots of different ways to destroy turrets. Unfortunately, there are also some things that aren't perfectly balanced, and if they don't work exactly right, you can become stuck on a level, and depending how religiously you quick save, you may have to begin the entire puzzle over again. One example here, where you drop this ball onto aerial faith plates, in some cases when it doesn't knock them off, it may actually nudge them but keep them in an upright position, which makes it very difficult to descend to the next level. What I also liked about this is the tower contains several actual puzzles, so it's not merely a pretty tower to fight your way through turrets. There are actually some thinking games. One of my favorites was the weaponized blue gel ball of death. If you were to accidentally drop this Franken turret into the Fizzler, there is no replacement for it. I like this puzzle an awful lot, and clearly lots of work went into it. Just a tad too involved and a little bit too punishing for my personal taste. Thank you for mapping. Excellent work. Our second place entry comes to us from Lemonator. Lemon's Monday Madness 9, 10, 12 entry, a one-room chamber. First impressions, you have a turret pointing at you out of the gate, but you have the opportunity to evade and examine your options. First, a simple cube swap is in order to preserve the laser. And now we have a curious puzzle. Of course, lasers kill turrets, but here's what Lemonator has given us. No easy way to use the laser because you have no 90-degree angles. What can you do? This wall panel that at first appeared a little bit useless to us? Now we have access to the upper level. Look around. Just a cube button. To destroy our final turret and gain access to the exit. And the final bit of this puzzle, a bit of a mechanic that you may or may not know, but you will have to put your cube in the button and then back away quickly. And as you back through the exit, the puzzle is solved. Thanks for mapping, Lemonator. This puzzle was broken into smaller puzzles of varying difficulty. They seem very obvious in retrospect. My wife did not beat this puzzle because she said she doesn't think in angles. For first place, I have selected a newcomer to the Monday Madness Challenge, going by the username of Eunice Jet, and the puzzle is Extraction version 1.1. This puzzle is extremely well named. Extraction exactly explains how to beat the puzzle without really giving anything away. When I first played this puzzle, I hated it, and I'll tell you why. It looked like a convoluted mess. It looks like there's lots of places to go and lots of elements to play with, and I thought this is exactly what I hate in puzzle design. Do I mess with the light bridge? Do I go over here and figure out this laser thing? Do I go explore up the stairs? Here's a laser catcher connected to no less than 3 elements. What's the point of that? There are elements that when I first started this puzzle, I thought, well, what the hell is that even for? There's portal walls all over the place, and here I'm given a flip panel. Could that be of any use whatsoever? As I got to exploring this puzzle, I began to like it better and better. Patterns started to emerge. I began to discover some of the things that I would eventually love about this puzzle, and that's you're going to have to think in portals. The first part is simple. You're just going to portal across the room and hit a button. Of course, making use of your portal gun to close the distance. Not mind-shattering, because lots of the turret puzzles were like that. You're going to play around a bit. You're going to try and see what things do. You have this flip panel. In addition to that, you have this cube button here, which, thanks to glass and clear visibility, you can see activates the exit. Of course, you're wondering what good that is with both a light bridge and 3 turrets in the way. That's where it starts to get interesting. The next part actually took me a little bit to figure out, because it involves a counterintuitive switch. Most puzzles are about activating elements, and this part of this puzzle was about deactivating something. It was fairly easy for me to beat. If you're not careful, these turrets do have to be dealt with. Of course, if you approach incautiously, you're going to face them head on. But it was fairly obvious to me how to beat this room. Standard cube acquisition reversal funnel. The purpose of this next room, it seems nonsensical when you first look at it. It did to me anyway, because I thought, well, I have a way down over here, but you can't take the cube that way. So then rather than create some sort of convoluted additional puzzle around deactivating this fizzler, what Eunice Jet has done is forced you to use portals to go down, so you have your option that comes into play a little bit later. Without a little bit of prescience, you're going to drop this cube here and activate the laser catcher, and then go through with the rest of the puzzle. Having played this before, I know that this cube actually has 2 uses, and one of those uses is to defeat those turrets. So let's return topside. Of course, we have a trapped Franken turret down here. Don't put it in every test, but occasionally it's funny. Here's the problem. Once I deactivate my stairs, I no longer have access to the cube, and I can't get back up here. Whole thing about Portal is how do you get yourself in 2 places at once, or in this case, how do you get your cube in 2 places at once? So climb the stairs and move the cube. One of my favorites. And now we're upstairs and we can go solve this portion. A little bit of a spoiler doing the turrets first, but in your typical playthrough you're going to activate that first. See that deactivates the laser bridge and you can reach the exit and then go outside to play around a little bit more and figure out what you can do with it. Once again, I wondered why this laser catcher had 3 connections coming off of it. What's the point of that? That's the point of it. It actually also connects to these stairs so that it appears you can't get upstairs with this laser in place. But as we saw earlier, we could use this cube to block it and go forward. And what I like about that is it's a rarely used puzzle piece in player design tests. It's not one you see that often. I think it was in exactly 1 puzzle in the campaign, and maybe that's why it's so rare in player puzzles. Remember this flip panel that I thought was useless? All of a sudden it has a fantastic use. We can now portal underneath our cube, which opens the exit and makes our way clear. So congratulations to all of our winners today, and thanks to everyone who submitted. Like I said, today's challenge was very hard to grade, and no surprise if you found one in the entries that you liked a little bit better than the ones I featured here. That's okay. I want to thank everybody for mapping. I enjoyed playing all of these very much. The theme for next week's challenge is Old Aperture. You will have to construct a chamber that feels like it was designed in the 1950s, 1960s, or 1970s in the Cave Johnson era of Aperture. You will not be able to use any of the modern elements like excursion funnels, light bridges, or lasers in your puzzle. More details will follow on the Steam discussion forums for the Portal 2 workshop. Thanks for watching, and thanks to everybody for mapping.